That's a very good question. It's sort of the root of, you know, it's one of the main sort of themes of the show is, you know, where the heck did this guy come from? And why is he in Battle Creek, Michigan? The story of the show is that it's a group of detectives in the underfunded, under-respected in a lot of ways detective squad in the Battle Creek Police Department. And that in and of itself is very funny because these guys have to sort of use what they have to make do. They don't have, you know, their tasers don't tase, their guns barely work. Milt drives a 1994 Ford Fiesta. You know, and everything is just sort of antiquated and old and not updated. My character comes into the fold with the FBI. I'm a federal agent, special agent, Milton Chamberlain. I have all the resources that I need to get the job done. I have all the technology, I have all the gadgets. I drive an Escalade, I've got nice hard hair, wear a nice suit, and it drives Russ's character crazy because he doesn't think that they need all that. You know, he thinks it's just good old-fashioned police work. And that to me was sort of what really, I don't know, made me want to be a part of this show, just because it was an old school cop show with modern technology and these two guys just sort of going at it all the time. It reminded me of the shows that I grew up watching, you know, the Starsky and Hutch, the Hill Street Blues. It's very gritty and it's very funny. We just don't see eye to eye on really anything. He doesn't like me. I supposedly like him, but I think I secretly despise him. And one of the things that I really love about this character is that nobody really knows why he's here. Russ is very curious as to why I ended up here. And we find out that I came from Los Angeles to DC to Detroit and now Battle Creek. It's not exactly the trajectory that I anticipated. But there's definitely a dark side to this character. This is all sort of a overcompensation or a cover-up for something else. This guy's got real issues, and he's troubled, and he's got a dark past, and that's what makes it fun. So I get to play this guy who seems to be perfect, but he's far from it. Pretty much the same as on screen. We secretly despise each other. We pretend like we like each other, but no. No, Dean is a really, really good guy. He's an excellent actor, really fun, likable dude. New York City all the way. You know, he doesn't really pull any punches. He kind of says what he thinks, and I love that about him. Yeah, I did. I met with a couple of FBI guys just to understand, you know, the basics of how you become an FBI agent and the resources that they have at their disposal. But what was really interesting to me was how an FBI agent intermixes with I don't want to say small town, but a smaller sort of city than, you know, the Parises or the Londons or the Los Angeleses or New Yorks of the world. And so it's a very interesting dynamic that these guys have, because when I went to Battle Creek and met with a lot of the undercover guys, they talked about how the FBI guys, as annoying as they were, because they do have this mentality that they know more than you, we're also very valuable, you know, and I think that that's sort of a stigma that isn't fair, because these guys are just trying to do good work too. And, you know, so there's always kind of this battle between the two, you know, the federal agent versus the local law enforcement. But at the end of the day, they have to work together. Well, this is what I think attracted me the most to this character, is that he seems to be something that he's really not. I think that all of this, you know, whether it's the suit or the haircut or, you know, perfectly shaved you know, he comes in by the book and he seems almost too good to be true, and in fact he is. And you start to see throughout the season these little cracks in the facade, and I think that that's what really makes, to me, this character interesting, because, you know, otherwise, I like the idea of playing with what the cliche would be for what I would be typically doing, is that, oh, of course, he's, you know, Mr. Nice Guy, dressed up in his nice suit and everything else. And the real reason I did this part was because this guy is anything but that. Well, I don't really look at it as going back to TV. I think the TV is as good as anything out there right now. And to get a chance to work with somebody like David Shore, having Vince sort of overseeing the whole thing. A really, really talented group of writers around. The material is great, and that was really what, you know, I loved about it. The fact that, you know, I know the character's interesting. I know the show's going to be interesting and smart and clever and funny and all those things that you want to sort of be a part of. And the fact that they're really sort of letting me develop this guy as we go. That and the fact that I get to be home. I get to be around my kid all year. I don't have to go anywhere, and I don't have to pick them up and take them with me anywhere.